please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All righty. Can we have a roll call, please?
Yes, Council President Albertson.
Here.
Councilmember Rivera.
Here.
Councilmember O'Halloran.
Here.
Councilmember McIrvin.
Here.
Councilmember Prince.
Here.
Councilmember Perez.
Here.
Councilmember Vaughn.
Here.
Roll call, Mr. Mayor, all present.
All righty. Thank you. All right. First up, we have a proclamation, Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And
Go ahead. Proclamation, Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Whereas Domestic Violence Awareness Month is a national campaign dedicated to raising awareness about domestic violence, and each October, organizations and individuals unite for a national effort to highlight the needs and support of survivors, and the City of Renton is proud to join in this event, or this effort. And whereas the crime of domestic violence violates an individual's privacy, dignity, security, and humanity due to the systematic use of physical, emotional, sexual, psychological, technological, and economic control and/or abuse. And whereas it has been estimated that every 9 seconds a woman is assaulted by her husband, boyfriend, or intimate partner, and in more than half of those instances, children under the age of 12 are present. And whereas throughout October, the city will support the Purple Night Light campaign by having the purple lights on the trees in front of City Hall, and recognize October 17th as Purple Thursday by encouraging residents to display purple lights as a sign of solidarity for victims of domestic violence. And whereas domestic violence does not discriminate and crosses all economic, racial, gender, educational, religious, and societal barriers, and is sustained by indifference. And whereas the 2025 theme for Domestic Violence Awareness Month is safety, support, and solidarity, the City of Renton reaffirms its commitment to its comprehensive and holistic approach to protect all residents, including those most marginalized, by lessening domestic violence and control, extending. And now, therefore, I, Armando Pavoni, Mayor of the City of Renton, do hereby proclaim October 2025 to be Domestic Violence Awareness Month in the City of Renton, and I encourage everyone in our community to take an active role in supporting all victims so they can lead healthy lives, safe from violent and abusive behavior. In witness thereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the City of Renton to be affixed the 6th day of October 2025, signed Mayor Armando Pavoni, Mayor of the City of Renton.
Mr. Mayor,
yes.
I move the proclamation be adopted as read.
Second.
All right. It's been moved and seconded that the proclamation be adopted as read. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion passes. All righty. And to accept for the proclamation, we have domestic violence victim advocate Tina Harris, and then Dawn Executive Director, Gina Finley. Please step up and say a few words.
Good evening, council members and the residents of Renton. Thank you for taking the time to recognize October as Domestic Violence Awareness Month. I'd like to take a moment to remember our community members that have lost their lives due to domestic violence. Montisha Alford, Lila Wilson, Natalie Gallucci, Dean LaHowe, Fatima Zalvada, Barbara and Beretta Hawkins, Kathy Chow, Jessica Scholl, Allison Leedy, Megan Smith, Rena Hernandez, Darcy Moore, Jamie Ray, and Alexia Garcia. All these individuals lost their lives, but many others were saved by community-based programs such as those funded by the City of Renton. Some of those are Dawn, Rising, the YWCA, Rewan Consejo, Centro del Rendu, APA Chaya, Project Be Free, Renton Cares, and Reclaiming Our Greatness, to name a few that are here this evening. Along with friends, families, coworkers, first responders, churches, and intervention programs. I'd also like to take this time to thank our Renton Prosecuting Attorney's Office, who works very hard to hold these defendants accountable while listening to the concerns of the victims and the lethality in each case. The prosecutors take take to trial some of the hardest cases here in Renton. It's a collection and a collaboration between the prosecutor's office, defense counsel, electrical monitoring, and our case managers. Great efforts are in place to acknowledge the seriousness of these cases. The national theme of Domestic Violence Awareness Month for 2025 is with survivors always. It's an important theme to meet people where they are in their journey, to ensure their safety, support, and solidarity. The Purple Night Lights is a part of a national awareness that started here in Covington, the Covington Task Force with Victoria Thorne and Curtis Lindsley. Since 2007, the city of Renton has been participating in the Purple Lights campaign and lighting the halls here at City Hall. And I think the support and the participation for that as well. This year, the City of Renton would like to recognize Dawn Rising as a long-standing leading domestic violence program in our community that works collaboratively with the survivors, families, and the communities, the legal systems, and so much more. It's my honor and privilege to introduce Gina Finley, the Executive Director at Dawn Rising.
Thank you, Tina. Good evening, Mayor, council members, and community members. Thank all of you who joined us in our inaugural walk this evening. It was wonderful and beautiful to see people looking at the signs about stopping domestic violence and waving and honking. And so I hope that this tradition continues in the city of Renton. I have the honor of leading this agency the last 2 years, but we've been around for nearly 50. And I want to thank you all for recognizing Domestic Violence Awareness Month and for taking this time to shine a light on an issue that's too often remains hidden behind closed doors. Every October, we come together to raise awareness, but for survivors, they need safety, support, and healing continues long after this month is done. Each night, women, children, and families find refuge at Dawn's shelter because of your ongoing support. Behind every number is a real person, a mother who can finally sleep without fear, a child who begins to laugh again, a survivor who takes their first step towards a free life. Your partnership truly changes lives, but awareness isn't enough. It takes consistent investment in funding, time, and compassion to ensure that Dawn can continue to answer every call for help every single day of the year. We answer about 400 calls each month, and we want to continue to be there for survivors. And this month, we also invite you to visit our website to follow in her shoes. It's an interactive journey, and it's very eye-opening because you learn about all the barriers that survivors face. And so I really encourage everybody to check out our website at dawnrising.org. So thank you so much. I'm a privilege to be able to receive this proclamation. Thank you for your longstanding support.
All right, don't go too far. We're going to take a photo. Absolutely. Whoever wants to come up there.
Let's do one quick one first. Then I can get my exposure wrap. Gorgeous.
He's the only one to thank you. But you're talking to me. Anybody else?
Okay, the participating organizations that would like to come up as
Come
well.
on, everybody shot.
Reclaiming Our Greatness, I think, is here. Project B3 is here. Renton Cares is also here. Chamber. Anyone else that chose to? Yes, thank you.
And huge shout out to your Downtown Association Chamber and every police that supported the walk tonight. This is wonderful. Thank you.
Well, you gotta get close to
Steve.
All right. He's shy. Let's go. One more. Which I need like 3. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
All right, next up is the administrative report.
All right, good evening, everyone. Plan to join us Friday, October 24th at the Renton Community Center for the annual Truck or Treat Night. Encounter masterful Halloween displays while walking through the exhibits. This year's event features 2 time slots, a sensory-friendly stroll from 5 to 5:45 p.m. and a walk-through spooktacular from 6:15 to 7:30 p.m. For each participant collecting treats, pre-registration is required and may be done by visiting rentonwa.gov/register. Be sure to visit our website at rentonwa.gov/events for more upcoming holiday-themed events around your community. Information about preventative street maintenance, traffic impact projects, and road closures happening this week can be found at rentonwa.gov/traffic. All projects are weather permitting unless otherwise noted. Streets will always remain open. That is it, sir.
All righty. So next up, we have audience comment. All remarks, I'll remind everybody, all remarks are to be addressed to the council as a whole. If a response is requested, please provide your name and address, including email, to allow for follow-up. Each speaker is allowed 3 minutes, and when recognized, please state your name and your city of residence for the record. We actually only have one person signed up, and this person is virtual. Eye in the sky. Are we ready?
Joe, go ahead. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. I'm gonna take anything less. Joe Kunstler here. I'm not a Renton resident, but I want to address you about a few issues of regional concern. The first is that I want to commend you for your public comment policy and for facilitating remote comment and having people pre-registered. I think that's the best way to maintain access while stopping hate speech from creeping into our public meetings. And it is very much appreciated by your facility as one of the engineers, if you will, of the 2021-2022 open public meeting section renovations. I mention this because there's a organization that is under the OPMA that uses your facility, but does not facilitate remote comment, and yet can. And doesn't have a public comment policy, which I find very concerning in this age of Valley Zimmerman. And I hope in their meeting later this month, they will come up with a public comment policy. If you will have just proven that it's possible. I want to thank you for your public service, a commitment to inclusion and transparency. I also want to bring up very briefly as airplane meet, and honestly, I just flew my DPI 84 drone over one of my community's waterfronts. So when I say I hope you're able to have control tower at the Renton Airport on the northwest border, you also over the seaplane base and have air traffic control over it. And I also call upon you to please after a federal representative if any government shutdown, so we continue to have safety engagement. I know it's pretty complex, I know it's a lot, I know you've got a lot of meetings, so I will just sign off with thank you for your public comment policy. Thank you for all you do for us at the state. You have a great day, get good to you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Joe. Appreciate it. Okay. Well, we are on to the consent agenda. There are 11 items on the consent agenda. Would anybody like to pull any for further discussion?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
hearing none, I move the consent agenda. It's approved. No. I move that the council concur with the consent agenda as published.
Second.
All right. It's been moved and seconded that the consent agenda be, that council concur. You got me all mixed up, Ruth. That council concur with the consent agenda as published. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. All right, motion passes. We are on to unfinished business. Let's see, Councilmember Rivera,
No unfinished business, Mr. Mayor.
Councilmember O'Halloran,
No unfinished business, Mr. Mayor.
Councilmember McIrvin.
Yes, Mayor, the Transportation Committee has 2 reports to present.
All right, the first Transportation Aviation Committee report is regarding an amendment to a contract with Century West Engineering. The Transportation Aviation Committee recommends concurrence in the staff recommendation to authorize the mayor and city clerk to execute amendment number 3 to contract 23-128, which is an architectural and engineering professional services agreement with Century West Engineering, not to exceed $1,948,253.14 for construction management services associated with the Taxiway Alpha rehabilitation project. This is signed by the committee chair and members.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I move council concur with the Transportation Aviation Committee report.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded that council concur with the Transportation Aviation Committee report. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. All right, motion passes.
Right, the next report is regarding a professional service agreement with Kimley Horn and Associates for the air traffic control tower siting study. The Transportation Aviation Committee recommends concurrence in the staff recommendation to authorize the mayor and city clerk to execute an A&E professional services agreement with Kimley Horn and Associates Incorporated, not to exceed $342,298.58 for the ATCT siting study services. This is signed by the vice chair and member and virtually approved by the chair.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I move council concur with the Transportation Aviation Committee report.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded that council concur with the Transportation Aviation Committee report. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion passes. All righty, on to no? I don't know what that was. Councilmember Prince.
No unfinished business, Mr. Mayor.
All right, Councilmember Perez.
No finished business, Mr. Mayor.
Councilmember Van.
No unfinished business, Mayor.
All righty, we are on to legislation. There are 2 ordinances for second and final reading.
All right, the first ordinance is regarding the sales tax for criminal justice purposes. An ordinance of the City of Renton, Washington, amending sections 510.1 and 510.2 of the Renton Municipal Code to authorize an additional 0.1% sales and use tax for criminal justice purposes in accordance with section 201, chapter 350, laws of 2025, providing for severability and establishing an effective date.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I move the ordinance be adopted as read.
Second.
Moved and seconded that the ordinance be adopted as read. Any discussion?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. Point of personal privilege as Chair of Public Safety to speak to the sales tax. Thank you, sir. As we move forward tonight to pass the public safety sales tax, which will fund 5 new critical positions, 3 for a sexual assault unit and 2 for our drone unit, I want to emphasize the importance of ensuring our investment in public safety, which is balanced, sustainable, and strategically sound. While these new resources are much needed, we are simultaneously possibly considering the dissolution of our electric home monitoring program in the upcoming mid-biennial budget, which is due to be presented next week at Committee of the Whole. Eliminating a cost-effective accountability like electric home monitoring, particularly as we prepare to expand stay out of drug area legislation, may be considering financially short-sighted and operationally inconsistent with our broader public safety goals. We continue to face rising demands for traffic enforcement, community monitoring, and rehabilitation-focused alternatives. Dissolving EHM will not only shift costs elsewhere, but also reduce our capacity to safely manage low-risk offenders in our community, while also possibly increasing, by doing so, those that come in contact with our SCORE jail, which could increase our costs long-term. These are short-term and long-term conversations that has to do with the fact that as we're choosing to increase a sales tax for you once again to go towards public safety needs, which I completely agree with and plan on voting on for tonight, it is also fiscally and publicly irresponsible for us to eliminate a program that reduces incarceration and improves compliance outcomes. Our approach to public safety must be comprehensive, investing in new tools and personnel while also preserving proven effective programs that protect our residents and our tax dollars wisely. I share this so everyone's community can be aware of what is happening with this new mid-biennial budget update. So with that, I yield back.
Mayor.
Councilmember Van, and then Councilmember Prince. She had spoke up at the same time.
Thank you, Mayor. I wanted to comment regarding to this legislation because it's long time coming in terms of what the bill within the state Representative Deborah Entenman had really supported our communities. And so I wanted to highlight the important thing for me in this particular legislation is the investigative processes and making sure that we have a process and having staff to be able to do the investigation. So I do appreciate this legislation brought forth, and I will be voting for it. So thank you.
Councilmember Prince.
Yes, thank you, Mr.
Councilmember
Mayor. So I was under the impression that we were just contracting out the electronic home monitoring system, and I see the chief there. I would love it if you would come up and provide us with more details.
Good evening, Council. John Short, your chief of police.
Your microphone is not working.
I unplugged it, John. Just put the battery back.
It's causing feedback. It's going to, here. No, it'll take a minute.
Yeah. I think it works. Okay. I'll take that.
There we go.
Better?
Yep.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Good evening, Council. John Schultz, your chief of police. And I'm sorry, Councilmember Prince, what exactly was the?
So Councilmember Rivera talked about us eliminating. I thought we were contracting it out, so I was asking you to give us some more clarity on what's happening with the EHD.
Currently, the electronic home detention is an in-house program that's under the guise of the police department. So some of it, my understanding is some of it, the court does use some outside entities that doesn't exclusively use our in-house EHD all the time.
You can stay right there, Chief,
I'm
just
sure
in case. Councilmember O'Halloran.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. And it's also my understanding that we're simply outsourcing, not dissolving.
Correct. There's other options outside of the EHD program within the police department. There's private entities that provide the same type of program.
Thank you.
Chief.
I did. But you haven't spoken yet, so.
Okay. So, Chief, my additional understanding, because I think it's important that everybody, I guess, within earshot understands, the reason why we're doing this. And Councilmember Rivera said it was a cost-effective measure, but from the information I have, it seems as though it's been running at a significant deficit each year. My understanding was we were losing money from this particular program and losing taxpayer money. And so therefore, since it is offered, from a private standpoint, it's not as though, as I said, we're not eliminating the program, we're just eliminating the city administering the program at a loss. I mean, significant, 2023, 363,000, 2024, 294,000, estimated 2025, 311,000. Those aren't pennies. And so I want to make sure, or Carrie.
I defer to Carrie to probably answer those.
Okay.
So yes, we've been losing money in the program. This program isn't to make money. We don't totally understand that. But it has cost the city close to $2 million over the last 7 years, just because we have not been able to keep up with the costs. We did outsource, or we did bring on some other cities to be able to use our program as well, to be able to help supplement that. But it still is not making sense to keep this program when there isn't outside agencies that can give the same benefit to these people that are looking for this program.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes. Councilmember Rivera and then Councilmember Prince.
I really appreciate this conversation because I'm going to say something I think a lot of people I've spoken to agree with. When we privatize public safety, we risk transparency and accountability. I have done a lot of research on the private systems that have been partially used by our courts and some that are very I want to say predatory. One, when I spoke to our AHM officers, got their bracelets off Alibaba.com and they could be taken off. When we choose to outsource to private services, we risk lower quality of services. Additionally, when we decide to dissolve our in-house services, rather than somebody who has to get EHM probably within 24 or 48 hours without being incarcerated, rather than them going across the hall to one of our officers who is guaranteed the only thing they want is not to make money, but to make sure our service is of top quality, right? Rather than them being able to go across the hall to get those services very easily, they may have to take more time off of work, take public transportation, find one of these private services that might be okay to use and isn't shady. I don't feel in the conversations that I've had that we've pulled all of the levers to make our EHM program the most financially effective. But to address your cost effectiveness, short term, that 2 million is a lot less than what long term could be in our score jail if we see an increase of people in the beds in the score jail. And that's something I don't think has been balanced when we talk about the cost of our score jail and heads in beds when it comes to that. And that's a conversation I'm sure we can also carry on with the COW next week. I just wanted to preface it this week because we're passing a public safety sales tax, which is going to be on the consumer, our working class people most often. And I know Renton wants to see more officers out there, and I want to see drone sexual assault unit. I also want to see more of our motorcycle officers because of the unit of, I think 5 or 6 we're supposed to have, we only have like 2 or 3, which is really bad. But I don't want to see 2 officers who are 6 years away from being able to retire, 6 years away from their retirement, to get laid off because they're not making enough money. The money that's actually coming out of the general fund is less than both of their salaries combined and benefits. And so I'm just asking us to take into all of the consideration of all of that information, especially since we are the owner of the score jail.
Councilmember Prince and then McIrvin.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Carrie, do we know, Carrie or Chief, either one of you, do we know how many other cities might outsource this? Do we have any idea?
Know that some, we know that we have about,
Do we know if any other score cities outsource this?
the score cities use our program, so they're outsourcing their program to us. And I don't know about.
I don't know, but we can find out.
Councilmember McIrvin.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to say I appreciate the conversation. I just want to make sure we're not running out of kind of scope of what the ordinance is before us, which I wholeheartedly support and are ready to pass tonight. I think this is something the community has asked for, and we are ready to fund. It sounds like I would expect perhaps we have a more presentation coming from staff on the electronic home monitoring at a future meeting potentially, or is this the right time to ask these sort of questions?
We're going to be discussing it more next week at the committee of the whole for the mid-biennial budget presentation.
Thank you.
Councilmember Van.
Thank you, Mayor. I think, like I said, I support this legislation. I think in terms of my past life being a criminal defense attorney with electronic home monitoring, there is transparency in terms of when the court order it and individuals can pursue. I do appreciate having it in-house for convenience, but at the same time, there are referral sources that defendants can then go to and also transparency purpose. So I do support this legislation.
Anybody else? I'll end with saying I don't want it to get lost that, this particular ordinance that we're about to vote on, also underneath it's not just about this particular aspect, but it's about the requirement for more defense attorneys and prosecutors, and that is sorely needed given the decisions with the state and just the overload in general. But when we talk about perpetrators of crime essentially being let go because there aren't enough personnel or whatever, they just, there's no way to I don't know how to say it, hold them, and it's like a revolving door. And I think it's frustrating, from my understanding, for officers to see people back on the street, and we need a better way. And what's one of the ways that this tax is funding is for more defense personnel or public defenders and prosecutors, and that is sorely needed. So I don't want that to get lost in the midst of the conversation. So having said that, anybody else? All right. Let's see. Second and final reading requires a roll call.
Okay, Council President Albertson.
Aye.
Councilmember Rivera.
Aye.
Councilmember O'Halloran.
Aye.
Councilmember McIrvin.
Aye.
Councilmember Prince.
Absolutely, yes.
And Councilmember Perez.
Aye.
And Councilmember Vaughn.
Aye.
Roll call, Mr. Mayor, all ayes.
All right. There is another ordinance, I believe.
Yes, so this one is a code revision. An ordinance of the City of Renton, Washington, amending Section 41190G of the Renton Municipal Code by repealing current subsection 4190G4 while reserving the subsection authorizing corrections, providing for severability, and establishing an effective date. This is a docket item regarding vacant structures.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I move the ordinance be adopted as read.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded that the ordinance be adopted as read. Once again, second and final reading. Any discussion? Apologies. Okay. Second and final reading requires a roll call.
Council President Albertson.
Aye.
Councilmember Rivera.
Aye.
Councilmember O'Halloran.
Aye.
Councilmember McIrvin.
Aye.
Councilmember Prince.
Aye.
Councilmember Perez.
Aye.
And Councilmember Vaughn.
Aye.
Roll call, Mr. Mayor. All ayes.
All right. Thank you. We're moving on to new business. Councilmember Rivera.
No new business, Mr. Mayor.
Councilmember O'Halloran.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, on Monday, October the 13th at 1:45 PM, the Community Services Committee will be meeting in the council conference room and via video conference. We have 2 items on the agenda. The first is the Parks, Recreation, and Open Space Plan update, aligning park asset planning with community input. And the second is emerging issues in Parks and Recreation. And that is all I have, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember McIrvin.
No new business, Mr. Mayor.
Councilmember Prince.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, on Monday, October 13th at 3:45 PM, the Planning Development Committee will be meeting in the council conference room and by video conference. We have 5 items on the agenda. 1, appointment to the Planning Commission. 2, comprehensive plan transportation element. 3, 2025 docket 20 Group B. 4, resource center in the valley. And 5, emerging issues in CED. And that's all, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Councilmember Perez.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. On Monday, October 13 at 2:30 p.m., we will have the Finance Committee in the council conference room as well as via video conference. There are 9 items on the agenda. 1, interagency agreement with the State of Washington Department of Ecology. 2, addendum 925 to LAG 9903 with Land Condominiums Owners Association. 3, reimbursable agreement with FAA Air Traffic Control Tower, sitting study. 4, renewal of Healthcare Management Administrator Agreement for 2026. 5, approval of Kaiser Permanente Healthcare Premium Rates for 2026. 6, bid award Legacy Square Phase 2 CAG 25257. 7, proposed use of 2026 Community Development Program grant funds. 8, vouchers. And finally, 9, emerging issues in finance. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Councilmember Vaughn.
No new business, Mayor.
All righty. Well, it looks like we've reached the end of the road. What is the
Move
wish
to
of the
adjourn.
council?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to adjourn the meeting. All in any discussion? Forget about that discussion part. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay.